Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we are going to be replacing transmission lines on an F-150 2016 model XLT, and they are up under there. Yeah, might be kind of a job to do, but I think we can get her done. Here's the new transmission lines that we bought. Now you got to be careful. You got to make sure you order the right one for the year. They come off the side of the transmission like that. Come around, down, up under the oil pan, and up over top of the steering unit. And they kind of go in the top of the cooling block, transmission block there. There's a little cooler there, and it's leaking right here. I'll show you here in a second. They are pretty bad under there. They're rusted out. You gotta watch these because some people order them and they end right here, and they have disconnect clips for different models. So you gotta make sure that you're ordering the correct ones for the year you're working on. So let's go ahead and go under here and show you kind of what's going on. It's not leaking right now because I got the engine's been off, and we got obviously a leak right here. And once the camera focus there, you can see where it's been leaking really bad right there, rusted out. This line, it goes here, and this line right here, which I don't know if you can see very well. This one here, these are the two we got to unhook. These two here go up to the radiator, up to the front. So I don't know, they must have started putting these coolers on around 2015 or 2016. It's pretty corroded, so what we got to do, we got to get these little tiny bolts out right here. There's one here, and there's one on the back there. I think I can get to those. And if we get those two off, I might go ahead and pull this one out and pull these lines out, because I think eventually I'll just take this cooler completely out and clean it up a little bit. And it might make it just a little bit easier to snake these lines in as we're trying to get them back in and out. So this is going to be kind of an experimental thing. I've seen different guys do different things. And if we go back up under here a little farther, and there's where the line continues on this side of the engine, then it kind of goes up under here, around. And if I turn the camera just about right for you guys, you can see it kind of goes right there on the side of the transmission. I think you can kind of see it there. So that's what we got to do. I've already gone ahead and taken a plate off that's right here. It's just a protector for the steering rack here, where the electric steering is. That's the laying there. And I'll tell you one other thing. See that strip right there? Well, that thing bolts right here. There's 10mm screws that hold it in. It sticks down about this far. With that thing off, you don't have to worry about hitting your shoulders, trying to get your neck cut off on it, and all that. So I got that out of there, and I got probably about 2.5 feet here. And also I got the truck kind of jacked up a little bit. I got a jack right there, stand, and I got a couple of bricks under the tire, and I got my jack out there. But I should have plenty of room here. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead, disconnect this line here, get it out of the way. Have some rags ready and maybe a little pail, because you're going to lose some fluid, and then try to get these two bolts out of this unit, then pull this whole unit out of the way and go from there. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, so we got our first bolt loosened up. It took a while, but I didn't want to break it. It's a 10mm. I just worked it back and forth, sprayed grease on it and behind it into the threads. Now help it lube it up a little bit, because you get steel on aluminum, so never a good thing, especially when you have heat cycles. I'm not sure how long this bolt is, but well, it's turning pretty easy now, so maybe it's not terribly long. And this holds it, and this here holds both of these lines in. It's kind of a clamp style, so I'll have to get a little hammer and now tap that a little bit and see if we can. I'm surprised that's not leaking there. So, alright, so there's the bolt. Not terribly long. Alright, let's see if we can get these loose. Alright, so okay, so you got a bracket here that turns. Okay, that's interesting. And now, let's see, these should, okay, good, they're coming out. Let me grab my little cloth here, rag, in case we lose a little fluid. Alright, so that was pretty easy to get out. Drain some of this fluid out of the line so it doesn't get all over me. Alright, so there's that. I'll push this up all the way, hopefully here. Somehow. Now see if we can get the second one out. Whoa, there's a lot of corrosion. I don't know if you can see that right there. I'll tell you, I'm going to tell him it's probably best to go ahead and order this line and replace it too. Because it's not... Wiggle it there a little bit. I think it's coming. Yep, there it goes. Alright, let's pull this out. Okay, yay! Alright, we got it. Good. And this one's in pretty good shape, but this one's just... I'll clean it up a little bit. Maybe we can get some more use out of it. It doesn't look terrible, but... At least if I have to replace this line, it's easier to replace. Alright, so let me drain the oil of these, and now go ahead and work on this, these other two lines, the main lines that we need to take off and replace, and eventually take this block out. And one other quick thing here, the seals, this seal came out with the line, it's still attached, so it's in good shape, it goes right here. This one has a seal inside, I don't know if you can see that blue back in there, but it's kind of a different seal. It stays inside there, so that just pulls out, and it doesn't look like this piece here actually comes out from what I can tell, unless it's corroded, but I think this is just one fixed piece and that's in there, so I cannot move it. Just so you know, make sure your seals are okay and double check those and kind of make a mental note where they go. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, this little 8mm bolt had me worried. I kept spraying lube on it, backing it off, and wondering what I'm using. I'm using something from Tractor Supply, the Ultimate Fluid Lube can stuff. I got like 6 cans for like $10. Sprayed that in there, and I took my hammer and kind of tapped it. Then I put a screwdriver right about there, and you can see it's loose now. It's coming up out of there, so yay! So get this the rest of the way out of here. I'm worried about the other one. I can't see it, but it's there. And this is like that 8mm. Make sure you use a 6-point on these. Don't use 12. You'll round them off. Because if I can get this block off, this cooler unit, then I think it'll make me a lot less frustrated getting those lines in there, sliding them in, then bolting this block back in. So, alright, see where we're at here. Alright, there's that. Oh, there it is. Just a little tiny thing. Alright, now see if this line will lift up out of here. Yay! Alright. Another one down. That's it's leaking right here. You see we put tape on it, tried to get it home. Alright, so let me put this out of the way. Bend it up, and the seal is still on that right there, so we're good. And now, let's see, I see it right there. The other one's up here on the top. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can adjust the camera. Alright, we'll try that there. I think you might be able to see that. I can see it on my end, barely sticking up right here. So, and the key is to make sure you get your socket on there. Alright, let's try it. Alright, surprisingly it broke loose pretty easy, but you know what I'm going to do? That's right, we're going to put some more lube up here. Back it in, back it out a few times. Turn it in, back it back out. That usually frees up any corrosion in there. Alright, so let me go ahead and take this out. Alright, I think that bolt is out. It's a little one too. Yeah. And now, There we go. And the seal's still in that too. It's in good shape. Alright, so we'll put this one out of the way also. Now, here is the kicker. There is 2 more lines on here. If you can see them right here, there's this one and this one. These are from the radiator. So what we're going to do, we're just going to unbolt the bolts to hold this in and push this down out of the way, off to the side. Because I don't really want to drain any antifreeze out of this thing or anything. But there's only a couple of bolts here that's holding this in. So one there, and one in the back. So let me take those out real quick. Alright, so my 10mm socket. Enough room to get this one out. There's one back here in the back that's out. You have to use a ratchet like this. And once you get a ratchet on there, there's really no room to put a socket back there because you got these lines here. I bent them a little bit because they're ruined. So if I can get my socket off here, and there's the other bolt. They're a little rusty. Go up underneath the frame right here and spray some oil up under those bolts. You can see them with a flashlight. Spray some oil up there and those help you get them loose. Now I got one more back here in the back to get. Alright, so here is one of those bolts I took off. There's a lot of dirt rust on it. You have to get your wrench on there and kind of clean it up real good before you go wheeling on it. It just saves so much time. And like I said, the front one's the only one I can get my 10mm socket on. Now this back one here, it looks like I can turn this whole unit now sideways. I think I can get to that one there, no problem. We just pull this whole thing out of the way. See how much more room we're going to have? So let me get that out of the way. Alright, so on the left side, I use an extension and a little 10mm socket and a short extension because it puts it up high enough where I have leverage here above this unit. And something like that. And I think the bolt's out. And there's the bolt. And once I get this up, now see, we can move this thing clear out of the way. Look at that. Oh, look at that. How nice. Yay! Alright. Let me clean up here and see if there's anything I missed. Alright guys, so here's what's going on. We got our cooler kind of pushed up out of the way. And we got our nut off right here. See that there? This bracket is ready to come off. And if I go up underneath here, I'm going to have to shake the camera and move it around. I'll try not to get you dizzy. Get my light. And you got another bracket back here on the back of the transmission. See it right there? There is a nut or a bolt, a long bolt that goes right there. Right there where my finger is. I can even find my finger on my camera. Sorry guys, it's a little tight under here. Woo. Alright, so here is the bracket right here. And this goes in the back. The transmission right there. Those long bolts, I had to take that out. So the bracket now is loose. And we got one more working on. You can see the wrench there kind of hanging down. And let me turn around here. And it is right here. There's a bracket that I've already taken off with a little tiny nut. It's like a heat shield. It's outside. I'll show you in a second. But this is coming loose slowly. You have to use a rigidening ratchet on it. It's a pretty long bolt. Yeah, I know the shadow is pretty bad there, so there we go. Maybe it'll help out. But once I get this off, this line is pretty much ready to come out. You can see it's loose. The whole thing's loose. So, let me take this nut out, this bolt, and we'll see what else we have to do. There is a sway bar. I'm not sure. I'll have to drop it down. It's pretty easy to get out. Just a couple bolts there. So, but let me see if I can get this the rest of the way out here and see what we have for clearance. Alright, after about 5 minutes, I think this bolt's ready to come out. This is a long one. You would think the nut would just come off, but no, this whole thing has to come off because it's screwed into the side of the transmission. Oh, I just dropped it. Okay, well, let me get it here. And there's what you got to take out. No wonder, look at all the thread locker on it. And now, I think, yep, she's ready to come off. All I gotta do is pry a little bit, and this should just pop right out. All right, let me see if I can pry this out of here. Probably lose a little fluid. Just gently pry. And I think we're about out there. There we go. And if I can grab this with one hand. There we go. All right, so we'll drop this down and see how much clearance we have. We catch some fluid. And yeah, I might be ahead to go ahead and just drop the sway bar down a little bit. It's hitting right here, but should be able to get it out, so let me try that. All right, on the front you can see the lines. Well, they're pushed back in there. I took a little and bent this clip down. Well, there's my, I bent it down like this, and I'll show you once I get the line completely out. And it gives me a little more room in there to fish it out. But if you look up here, you can see it's almost out. Just a lot of wiggling. And back there, let me set the camera up, sorry. Just a little wobbly here. And there's the lines. I'm going to see if I can pull them the rest of the way out while you're watching. I bent them a little bit as I pulled on them. And they're coming slowly. You gotta use your other hand, pull, and make sure those little hoses don't get caught on anything. And there we go, almost out. If you have two people helping you, it's not so bad. Alright, just about out. Turn around. And this one hose is caught right there. Snagged. There we go. Alright. Trying to keep my excitement built. There it is. Woo! Alright, we'll pull these lines out and look at them. Okay, so here are the lines that we just took off. Now here is what I bent. This piece here, if you can somehow just get this completely off the line, it won't snag on things as you're pulling it out. And here's the other one that goes on the transmission. Now on the new lines, what I'm going to do, since this is pretty easy to unbend, I'm taking this off. And I'm probably going to take this off too. And you got a clip here. And you got a clip here. You can probably leave those on to give it a little bit of strength as you're sliding it back up through there. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to attempt to slide it back up through there. But this here was getting hung up on a lot of things. But I think we can wiggle it in there. It's going to be hard for me to film this as I'm sliding it up in there, but I'll come back once I get it kind of set up in there and all that. But we'll go ahead and take this off here and that one there. And I think it's going to make it a little bit easier, and we can move these around as we slide them in there. So let's see what we can get done. Alright guys, I'm totally shocked. Didn't even take me 5 minutes. I slid them all in there. I left one clip on right here. I think you can kind of see it there. It came off, but I popped it back on. That's the only thing that was holding these lines together. And I kind of, if I back up here, give me a sec. I took my hand and went here and kind of fished one of these, kind of fished them in there. Took my hand and kind of pulled on the front of it here. They swing around again, and I put tape over these so dirt wouldn't get in the end of them. And with these moving around like that, you can independently move these. But now you can see it's all the way forward, and I can twist them. And I can put my brackets on and all that. So I'll probably put one of my brackets up here first and bend it just a little bit, then slide it back to where that little nut was. But we'll show you that here in a second. But I'm excited. Look at that. Got it all in there. So let me go ahead and hook up some stuff here. And it looks like we might actually have something accomplished today. Yay! Let me know where you're watching from right now. Alright, I guess maybe I can show you a little bit of here what I'm doing. So we're getting this kind of back on here. It went in really easy. Make sure your seals are nice and clean. So we'll get this on. Then we'll slide some of the other brackets and smaller bolts in. Alright guys, so this is all tight here, and remember this is supposed to move a little bit. The only thing that keeps it from leaking are these seals, so it should flex a little bit, but your seals should not be able to see. It should be flush all the way down to the side of the transmission case, just so you know. I will be really excited if you can see what I'm doing. See, I've got this bracket started. I've got some angle guys like this, and now, without hitting the camera, we'll go ahead and kind of bend this down like that and bend this back. I might have to get a shorter pair of pliers, but hey, you can put this back on now, and that way you can see I can put my bolt up here at the top in my transmission, and this will be done. So let me get my little pliers because I don't have a lot of room, but so there's that. That's how we're doing that. All right, how you like those apples, huh? Nice and tight. Now we can bolt it up. Yeah, that's how I like it. Alright guys, so we got the one on the transmission kind of tightened up. Now I went ahead and put my bracket on there, put the bolt in on the top, and now I'll take something here and I'll just squeeze this together right here. These lines will stay in there, and that's how you can do that. They're still open there. Can you see how they're right there? And you can see still hooks right here. I'll squeeze that together, and we'll be almost done. So that's how I'm doing that. Now let me go ahead and squeeze those clamps together there and secure those two lines. And by the way, that is a 10mm nut up there. Right, so I took a little tiny pair of vice grips and grip this for keep it together. Then I took another pair of something like this, or you can take something like this and get behind here like this and grab that and bend it down, and then I took another pair of heavier duty pliers and kind of gripped it right there and just bent that tab down, and that side's done, and the other side I can do from the back side. So that's how you can do that to keep that secure on that line. So let me finish the back one real quick. And how did I bend the back here? Well, I just took a pair of pliers up in here like this, grabbed it kind of like that, and just pulled it and went like this, and you can put your finger right there and you can feel they're both bent. So that is done. All right guys, it's all back together. I didn't want to show you everything and bore you to death, but all back together. We've got a little bit of corrosion right there. I don't know if you can see that little bit of a gap, but I'm going to pack that with some grease. Other than that, everything's okay. We're going to order some new lines here from this cooler going to the radiator. If they're very short, that should not be a big deal, but we're going to put some transmission fluid in. We're going to put about a quart in it. We'll start it up here and see if we have any leaks. So you can do it with a little patience, I guess. Alright guys, just like that, we got her fixed. She's been running for about a half hour and we don't have any leaks. So looking good. So hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, say hi and give it a thumbs up. And I was kind of wondering, why did these things rust so fast? Well, I thought these were aluminum, but I was wrong. Yep, I sure was. That is not aluminum, that's metal. It's a magnet. Look at that. Oh well. Now we know why they rusted so bad. Alright guys, until my next video, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.